Have you ever wondered if growing old could be simpler, and more fulfilling, than all those complicated diets and supplements make it seem? I remember sitting at my kitchen table, teacup in hand, watching an interview with a Japanese doctor well past 100 years old. He was still practicing medicine, full of gentle energy, smiling as he explained his daily meals, unremarkable, simple foods he'd been eating for decades. There were no fancy superfoods, no obsession over macros or calories. Just the wisdom of a life built on small, steady habits. In Japan, especially in places like Okinawa, hitting 90, 95, or even 100 is so common they hardly celebrate the milestone the way we do in the West. Meanwhile, many of us spend fortunes chasing youth, swallowing countless pills, jumping between diet fads, only to face exhaustion and disappointment. Isn't there a more sustainable, joyful approach? This centenarian doctor believed so, and his daily routine reflected a tradition that has kept Okinawans robust and active, small, mindful eating patterns, gut-friendly staples, and a zest for life. Over the next 15 minutes, let me share 5 cornerstone food principles inspired by his advice, and the broader Okinawan or Japanese approach to longevity. Imagine yourself at 85 or 90, still meeting friends for a stroll, cooking light, savoring each bite of your meal. Does that vision feel comforting, even exciting? Let's see how you can make it real with everyday steps, starting today. Right now, close your eyes, picture an older version of yourself, vibrant and content. Whisper, longevity can be joyful. Let's begin. Longevity has fascinated us for centuries, from explorers seeking mythical fountains of youth to modern documentaries like Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. Science now confirms what some communities have intuitively known: living past 90 or 100 isn't purely genetic or random. Lifestyle, diet, and a positive mindset play massive roles. In the West, the average lifespan hovers around 76, often accompanied by years of chronic diseases. But in certain pockets of the world, like Okinawa, Japan, the average is notably higher, and many folks remain active into their late 90s. They garden, they cook, they walk to visit friends. The question is, how do they do it? The answer often lies in unassuming daily traditions, moderate eating, more plant-based meals, fermented foods for gut health, and a relaxed pace of life. Researchers studying these elders have teased out consistent dietary patterns, backed by personal stories and scientific findings. The best part? These practices are neither expensive nor rigid. They're simple, grounded in cultural wisdom, and easily adaptable to your own kitchen. If you felt weary from complicated diet trends or endless supplement regimens, rest assured, living to a healthy 90 or 100 can be about small, steady steps that honor both your body and your joy. Ask yourself, could you embrace a gentler, time-tested approach instead of chasing the latest diet? Keep that question in mind as we explore the keys to Japanese-inspired longevity. The first principle is deceptively simple but incredibly powerful: hara hachi bu, or eat until you're about 80% full. In Western dining culture, it's common to eat until you're stuffed. We see big portions as value for money, and we're often taught from childhood to clean your plate. But in Okinawa, where centenarians are abundant, the goal is to leave just a little space, finishing each meal feeling satisfied, not bloated. Why does this matter? Overeating burdens your digestive system, increases inflammation, and promotes weight gain. By contrast, stopping at 80% fullness can stabilize energy levels, improve digestion, and reduce metabolic stress, all of which contribute to healthy aging. Dr. Hinohara, the Japanese doctor who practiced medicine well past 100, credited a lifetime of moderate eating for his sustained energy. He didn't meticulously measure calories, he listened to his body's cues, savoring each bite, and pushed away the plate the moment satiety set in. Let's consider Linda, a 70-year-old grandmother. She used to finish every meal, no matter how large. She felt sluggish afterward, needing a nap. After embracing hara hachi bu, eating more mindfully and putting down her fork when she felt about 3/4 satisfied, she noticed a lighter feeling in her belly and more lively afternoons. She even lost a bit of stubborn weight effortlessly. That's the subtle magic of enough is enough, not more than that. During your next meal, try pausing halfway. Check in, are you still truly hungry, or just finishing out of habit? Practicing this can be your first step toward a calmer, more energized lifestyle. Second, we examine a cornerstone of the Japanese, and particularly Okinawan, diet, plant-based proteins like soy, tofu, miso, edamame, and beans, lentils, chickpeas. In many Western diets, protein equals meat. But centenarians in Okinawa regularly consume tofu and miso as daily staples, not just occasional side dishes. Why is that beneficial? Soy and other legumes offer high-quality protein with less saturated fat, helping guard against heart disease. They also deliver fiber, vitamins, and protective plant compounds called isoflavones, which may help stabilize hormones and reduce inflammation. Dr. Hinohara reportedly credited tofu for helping keep his arteries clear, even as he climbed into his 90s and beyond. He believed that gentler, whole food proteins fueled him without the heaviness meat sometimes brings. One notable real-life figure, chef and food activist Deborah Madison, started championing beans and legumes for healthier communities at a later stage in her career, finding that her own stamina improved when she subbed out meat more frequently. You don't need to become vegetarian, but incorporating a few bean or tofu-based meals weekly can lighten your digestion and boost essential nutrients. Picture yourself trying a tofu stir-fry with garlic and ginger, or a hearty lentil soup. Simple, budget-friendly, and brimming with nutrients your body craves for longevity. That's the beauty of leaning into plant-powered proteins. Your heart, gut, and waistline typically thank you. This week, challenge yourself. Replace at least one meaty dinner with a bean or tofu recipe. Notice if your body feels lighter or more energetic the next morning. Third, we spotlight fermented foods, a quieter secret behind Japan's longevity. Miso soup at breakfast, natto with rice, pickled vegetables, these probiotic-rich items help cultivate a healthy gut microbiome. A balanced gut influences everything from immune strength to mood regulation. Dr. Hinohara famously sipped miso soup daily, emphasizing that the living microbes in fermented foods do more good for your body than many over-the-counter probiotic supplements. There's also the synergy factor. Miso is not just fermented soy, it's often combined with seaweed, mushrooms, or vegetables, layering in multiple nutrients. If you recall examples like the daily kimchi habit in Korea or sauerkraut tradition in certain European pockets, these all reflect the same principle. Some Blue Zone elders credit their smooth digestion and minimal bloating to these tangy, lively foods. Consider Harriet, a 69-year-old struggling with bloating and irregular bowel movements. She tried countless digestive enzyme pills to little effect. After introducing a small bowl of miso soup each morning, along with the occasional pickled cucumber, her gut felt more settled within weeks. She realized it wasn't just about fiber, it was about beneficial bacteria from natural fermentation. That's a real gift to your system, gentle, daily nourishment from whole, cultured foods. Don't worry if miso or natto feel exotic. You can start with small portions, or try low-sodium versions. The key is consistency, letting your gut adapt and flourish. What's one fermented item you'd consider adding to your routine? Maybe a spoonful of miso in warm water or a side of pickled veggies. Give it a try and see how your digestion responds. Let's introduce Haruko, a 92-year-old living in a quiet village near Okinawa. Growing up, her breakfast rarely varied, a small portion of steamed rice or sweet potato, miso soup, and pickled radish. She never once counted calories or bought a fancy supplement. When she reached her late 80s, she could still walk daily to her neighbor's house, carrying small gifts of tofu or local greens. Neighbors often joked that Haruko looked decades younger, and they teased her about her daily miso routine. But one year, her daughter invited her to Tokyo for a month. There, Haruko found the meals bigger, heavier in meats and refined flour, with fewer fermented elements. She politely went along for a few days but started feeling sluggish, enduring mild stomach discomfort, something she'd rarely experienced at home. Eventually, she insisted on preparing her own simple dinners, a bit of tofu, miso soup, lightly stir-fried vegetables. Within days, her energy returned. Her daughter noticed the difference too, and asked Haruko to teach her these humble recipes. By the end of the month, her daughter had replaced some convenience foods with sweet potatoes, tofu, and pickled veggies. She even tried the 80% fullness rule. Together, they saw improvements in how they slept, their midday energy, and even mood. Haruko's story shows that these old, unassuming habits, cultivated across decades, can protect vitality well into your 90s, even amidst the hustle of modern city life. Next, let's tackle a big Western misconception, that all carbs are enemies. In Japan, particularly Okinawa, sweet potatoes, especially the purple variety, make up a large share of daily calories for many elders, fueling them with steady energy, not sugar crashes. Sweet potatoes are loaded with beta-carotene, fiber, and vitamins that support eye, heart, and immune health. The purple sweet potato variety also contains anthocyanins, potent antioxidants linked to reduced inflammation and better cognitive function. If you've seen the BlueZones documentary, you know that Okinawans historically relied on sweet potatoes more than white rice, giving them key micronutrients while maintaining stable blood sugar. Meanwhile, in Western culture, people often vilify carbs as the cause of weight gain or diabetes, forgetting the difference between refined, sugary carbs and complex, fiber-rich carbs found in nature. Paul, a 67-year-old retiree, initially avoided carbs out of fear. He found himself fatigued and craved sweets more intensely at night. His dietitian suggested adding half a cup of steamed sweet potato with lunch, a slow-digesting carb that wouldn't spike his blood sugar. Within weeks, his cravings mellowed, and he felt less drained. The lesson? Choose carbs with a purpose, ones that truly nourish. If purple sweet potatoes are hard to find, standard orange-fleshed sweet potatoes still deliver many benefits. The key is portion control and pairing them with plant proteins or vegetables for a balanced meal. On your next grocery trip, consider grabbing a few sweet potatoes. Try them steamed or roasted. Let yourself experience the gentle, sustained energy they can provide. Finally, it's not only what you eat but also how you live. Dr. Hinohara, who practiced medicine beyond 100, embodied a rhythmic lifestyle, early morning walks or gentle stretches, a calm approach to meals, and an ongoing sense of curiosity. He famously refused to simply retire from caring for patients, insisting that meaningful work and social connections kept him youthful. Cultivating daily joy can be as important as your meal plan. A small dose of laughter, a moment of gratitude, or a midday break for tea can significantly ease stress hormones, which, when chronically elevated, undermine health. Reflect on Betty White, who remained lively and humorous until nearly 100, attributing part of her longevity to a light-hearted approach to life, valuing companionship, small pleasures, and comedic relief. Mary, 72, used to fixate on diets, counting every calorie and stressing whenever she indulged in something off-plan. That anxiety eventually overshadowed any nutritional benefit. After reading about Hinohara's light, fun routine, she introduced daily walks with neighbors, turned mealtime into a slower, communal affair, and gave herself permission to laugh at small mistakes. Her blood pressure lowered, and she felt a renewed sense of calm. Remember, your body and mind are linked. Rhythm, routine, and gentle positivity around meals can help those nutrient-dense foods truly shine, ensuring you not only live longer but also better. Picture one small, joyful routine you could add, like a morning tea break or a short post-lunch walk. Incorporate it this week. Notice how it uplifts your mood and appetite. Let's recap the 5 principles we've explored, each drawn from the wisdom of a Japanese doctor who thrived past 100, as well as broader Okinawan longevity insights. Stop at 80% full, Hara Hachi will let your body guide your intake, easing digestion and fatigue. Plant proteins, tofu, beans bring variety and gentleness to your protein sources, reducing heavy meats. Fermented foods, miso, natto, pickled veggies nourish your gut with beneficial bacteria, supporting overall health. Smart carbs, sweet potatoes don't fear all carbs, select those that fuel steadily, providing vitamins and fiber. Rhythmic living, joy and lightness incorporate small daily walks, mindful meals, and social moments for overall well-being. We've heard from Haruko, who glided through her 90s on these consistent habits, and saw how sweet potatoes or a bowl of miso soup are hardly fancy, yet profoundly impactful. We glimpsed Dr. Hinohara's approach, no complicated diets, just a calm, purposeful routine. The educational lesson here is that longevity often emerges from everyday simplicity, healthy, moderate eating plus an approach to life that balances physical nourishment with mental ease. You don't need a radical overhaul, just one principle to begin. Over time, layering these small changes can transform your energy and outlook, nudging you gently toward a life that's not only longer, but richer. Now, choose your starting point. Is it stopping at 80% fullness, or adding tofu for dinner, or sipping miso soup tomorrow morning? Let us know in the comments. Your step might spark someone else to join this longevity journey. Before we wrap up, remember I'm sharing these insights based on traditional Japanese practices, Dr. Hinohara's anecdotes, and broader research on BlueZone diets. I'm not a doctor or dietitian, so if you have unique medical conditions, please consult a healthcare professional for personal guidance. Still, these 5 steps are time-tested, grounded in simple wisdom that has helped entire communities remain active well into their 90s, and beyond. They highlight how your approach to food can be joyful, not burdensome. No extreme diets or harsh restrictions, just a steady, mindful rhythm anchored in wholesome ingredients like miso, tofu, sweet potatoes, and daily positivity. If this video resonates with you, please tap like, subscribe, and consider sharing it with a friend or family member who's curious about aging gracefully. Each of us has the power to shape our later years, and these Japanese-inspired practices offer a bright, practical framework for doing just that. Thank you for spending these 15+ minutes with me. May your next meal bring you not only nourishment, but also a sense of peace, and maybe a dash of excitement, knowing you're crafting a future where living past 90 or 100 remains possible, and thoroughly enjoyable. As Dr. Hinohara once said, don't underestimate your body's potential for happiness. Let's honor that potential, one mindful bite at a time.